Okie doke. Right then, so welcome to your Yoga Fit and Nidra Relax class this evening. We're going to actually start in child's pose. So I'm going to invite you to kind of take up some space on your mats. There's lots of ways to actually do child's pose. We're going to have the toes touching and the knees as wide as you comfortably need them to be. And then coming down, placing your forehead on the floor. You can just have your arms back behind you, palms facing up. Or you can have the arms out in front of you, resting the elbows on the ground and just taking a little moment to settle there. And if anybody needs an extra layer of support or comfort, and maybe you haven't tried this before, it can be really nice if you've got a pillow or a blanket to pop it over your thighs, snuggle it right up to your hips, and then rest your tummy over that pillow. It just gives you a whole other little layer to rest into. And it might be that you prefer to practice with your knees a bit closer together rather than apart. So take a moment now just to make any adjustments as you just settle down into your child's pose. So noticing the ground underneath you and allowing your body to have a sense of resting. Seeing if you can just settle your sit bones a little bit further back and down onto the heels if you can. And then get a sense of lengthening the front of the spine. So perhaps as you inhale, feel that breath come into the back of the ribs and the back of the waist. A sense of expanding. And then as you exhale, can you look for a sense of lengthening through the spine? So it might feel like your arch in your back actually flattens out, that your tummy and your heart soften towards the ground, and that you might even be able to wiggle your head just a few millimeters forwards along your mat. Take another big breath into the back of the body. See if you can send it all the way down into the sitting bones. And exhale, lengthening the spine, sighing that breath away. And keep breathing in and out in your own rhythm, in your own time. Every exhale is always a chance for the body to soften. And when it relaxes, we often make a little bit more space in our poses that we can then move into. We can get a deepening. So just see if you can look for that as you exhale at the end of that exhalation. And then in that soft space after the exhale where nothing actually really happens, see if you can explore that space. Feel the rush of the inhale. This time we're going to send it down into the belly. So letting the belly fill up like a little balloon. Exhale completely. Let the breath go. Almost as if you're breathing out through the forehead and the forehead's having a little massage on the floor. Just take your time here. See if you can let go of any layers of tension, any stress from the week or from the day. Anything you're physically holding on to, can you let that melt away and feel a little bit heavier down onto your mat? A couple more breaths here into the belly. Starting to listen to the sound of your breath, moving into a kind of ujjayi breath technique, where you're just gently closing the back of the throat as you breathe in. And gently sighing from the back of the throat as you breathe out. So you can do this breath in and out through the nose. You can breathe in through the nose or out through the mouth. Or if you've got a cold, you can do it in and out through the mouth. But just see if you can control the speed of the breath by squeezing the back of the throat and making the breath sound a lot more audible in your own head. A bit like Darth Vader breathing. Last couple of breaths here, just breathing into all the corners, breathing into the shoulders, breathing down to the fingertips, the palms of the hands, breathing down the sides of the body, to the sit bones and the soles of the feet. Exhaling, looking for that little bit of lengthening through the spine. And then without really lifting up too high, just start to walk the hands over to your right side as far as you possibly can. So your tummy is leaning onto the right thigh. And then take your left hand and place it on top of the right hand and kind of just interlace the fingers so you have a little bit of grip through the fingers. And then really breathe into the right side of the body, the right shoulder, the right ribs. Breathing in to make space, expanding, inflating, and then exhaling, looking for that softening, looking for that release. And again, maybe you make a little bit more space. You might be able to wiggle the hands round another millimetre or two towards that end of the exhalation. Inhaling into that left side of the body. Exhaling, softening the left side of the body. And then also being aware of that slight squashy sensation on the right side. Just gently compressing kind of all the organs on that side of the body, giving them literally a squeeze. I'm going to take one more breath here. Big breath in. Big breath out. Relax as you exhale. Slowly walk back to center. Take a little breath in center. And then in your own time, slowly walking the hands around to the left side. Bringing the right hand on top of the left, just interlacing the fingers a little bit so you've got a bit of a grip. And then bringing the forehead back down to the floor if you can. Gently squashing, squeezing the left side of the torso onto the thigh. Breathing into the space you're making on the right side of the body. So from hip to waist to the ribs. Inhaling, making a little bit of space between each and every rib. See if you can almost fan open the ribs. Armpit, elbow, down the edge of the arm to the fingertips. Can you inhale into the whole of that space? And then when you exhale, look for that softening, the release, the letting go. So making your practice as active, as dynamic, as strong, or as subtle, fluid, and kind of inwardly aware, more gentle, as you like. Everything is welcome. Just taking one more breath here on that side, in and out. And then inhaling, gently walk your hands back up to center. You're going to press into the hands and just come up onto all fours. Take a little moment here to spread the fingers and then just stretch back the left foot. Tuck the toes under, press into the heel just to stretch out the calf. Inhale here and exhale. So we're pressing down into the hands, lifting the chest up away from the floor and almost getting a sense of squeezing the thighs together. We're going to lean into the left hand. Inhale, bring the right arm all the way up, reach it forward. So we're there with control. We're going to breathe in and out here, chin down, just strengthening the back of the body. And then on your next inhale, slowly start to bring the hand down and lift the back leg up. So we're kind of floating in a straight line, forward and back. Exhale, start to draw the tummy in. So finding a little bit of pelvic floor first, and then the lower belly gently drawing in and up towards the spine. Keep breathing in and out as you hold this for 3, for 2, and for 1. And gently bring the leg and the arm down. Let's take the right foot back, toes tucked under, press into the heel. Find your little calf stretch first. Spread your hands as wide as you can. Press down into the hands and just gently kind of lift the heart up away from the floor. So it almost feels like the top of your back around the shoulder blades is gently rounding towards the ceiling. You can probably feel your t-shirt stretching out across the bones. Now we're just going to lean down into the right hand and inhale, lift the left arm all the way up. So coming into a nice diagonal line to start off with. Chin in a few degrees, but lift the back of the head up and reach out with that left hand and back with the right heel. Inhale and exhale here. And as you exhale, blow the breath out, start to find your pelvic floor and gently draw your belly in and up. So you might have found that your core is already gently activated here just from having the limbs in these positions. But if it feels a bit weak and you need to add a bit more in, do so on your exhale predominantly. Then inhale, we're going to drop the hand and lift the leg. So we're just hovering both limbs off the floor. Try not to roll the back hip up towards the ceiling. So the leg that's long behind you, try and point the toes towards the ground and keep the hip rolling down slightly. Keep breathing in and out here, holding it for 3, for 2, and for 1. Well done. Bring the hands back down, open the knees wide, and just drop all the way down back into a nice peaceful warrior. So a kind of long child's pose, arms out in front, forehead on the floor. Take a big breath into the back of the body. Big exhale. And then just from here, just shuffle your weight from leg to leg. So we're just feeling a slight deepening in the hips. So I'm just leaning to the right, leaning to the left, and just feeling whatever you can feel deep in those hip sockets, maybe in the inner thighs. Take one more breath. And then inhale, coming back up. So this time we're going to just spend a little bit of time in kneeling. So either grabbing a pillow or sitting over a bolster. We're going to just pop the pillow underneath our bottoms and explore Ujjayi breath just for a little bit. And make sure you're not going to get pins and needles. If you do, by all means, swap this out into easy pose if that's more comfortable. We're going to interlace the hands today and place them underneath the chin. And with the chin down a little bit, just start to focus on that inhale in through the nose as you lift the elbows up nice and high. So your arms are like little butterfly wings. And then exhale, press underneath the jaw so the head tilts back. Zip up the elbows and breathe out through the mouth. So it's a lovely ha sound. And then inhaling, looking down, lifting up the elbows, reaching up through the ribs. Exhale, head comes back, elbows zip up in front of each other. Inhale, chin down, elbows up, lift up from the armpits, stretch around the waist. And then exhale, draw the tummy in as you press every drop of breath out of the body. Inhale, chin down, elbows lift. Exhale, breathe out through the mouth, nice wide mouth, and let the elbows meet in front of your chest. I'm going to show you this from the side, but keep going. Deep breath in, lifting up through the torso. Deep breath out, big open mouth. Inhale, chin down, elbows up. Take the biggest inhale that you can. See if you can take another sip at the top. And then exhale, drawing up the pelvic floor, squeezing the tummy in. We're going to do one more here. It's a really great breath to prepare for movement and practice. And exhale. Good. And then just bring the hands down, a couple of little shoulder rolls. And then start to circle the arms. So we're circling the arms out to the side, stretching the fingers, and just bringing them up to shoulder height. So circling about the size of a tennis ball. Take an inhale here and an exhale. Keep stretching your fingers away from you. And then start to circle something the size of maybe a bike wheel. Start to feel this through the shoulders. So keep breathing. Try and keep the breathing even and regular. So doing your best to breathe in and out through the nose. If that's too difficult, you can breathe out through the mouth, making your circles even bigger now. So all the way up to the sky, and then turn the hands and push the air away from you. So the hands press away and down, inhaling and exhaling. Good. Couple of little soft, tiny shoulder circles here. And then just a few side bends. So just trying to get into the spine again. So taking the arm up and over, breathe into the ribs, breathe into the waist, and exhale. Inhale, up and over. Keep breathing there. And then when you're ready, exhale. And we'll do one more on each side. So just hanging out for a breath or two, reaching out through your fingertips, finding the space in the side of the body, and let it go. And one more. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good. So coming back to center, little shoulder roll. We're going to take the left arm and just place the hand down behind our back. And then with the other arm, just spend a little bit of time circling the elbow. So we're just circling into that shoulder socket, trying to relax the left arm as much as possible. And then just send the left arm as far down behind your back as you can. If you can get the head to press against the forearm, that's going to give you a little bit of grip. That's great. And then we're going to take your right arm and bring it down behind your back and try to wiggle the hands all the way up to meet in cow face. So the right palm's facing out. You're going to hopefully be able to grasp the fingertips, but if not, just hold on to your t-shirt so you've got something to work against. We're going to take a few breaths here with the arms in cow face. Now when you're here, think about not over puffing the chest. So very commonly, we'll start to flare the ribs, lift the heart, and lift those lower ribs. But can you bring these lower ribs down? So think about zipping yourself back up, drawing the left lower rib to the right hip and vice versa. So there's this sense of connection around the core. And then be careful with the head that it's not jutting forward. Bring the back of the head back, chin in, and think about that tall spine. Gently just hold on to those hands and then reach out through opposite elbows. So take one elbow up to the sky and the other elbow down to the floor. And take a lovely big breath in across the chest, into the shoulders, into the rib cage. Look for that sense of inflating again. Make space and exhale, relax completely. Take one more breath here. And then gently undo the arms. We'll do another little shoulder roll, maybe shake out the hands. And then we'll just take that to the other side. So taking your right arm up, placing the hand flat against your back, and then just giving yourself 30 seconds or a minute just to relax. So we relax the arm completely. With these little circles, we're just gently sending the hand further down the back. We're trying to do this without any pushing or pulling, but just trying to find and make some space. And then when you're ready, just seeing if you can place the edge of the arm against the back of the head so you can lean the head back and you get a little bit of resistance. Then take the other arm and bring it up your back. So palm facing out. See if you can go for that little grip with the fingers, if not holding onto your t-shirt. And notice if one side feels a bit more tricky than the other. So if this is your tricky side, you might need to release that top arm and just wiggle that hand a little bit further up your back. And then go for the bind. Don't worry if you're holding your t-shirt, that's absolutely fine. Now just start to kind of reach out through opposite elbows. So the top elbows growing tall towards the sky, the bottom elbows coming down towards the floor. And then what's happening with the chest and the ribs? Can you draw those front ribs down and in? Bringing the chin in, just leaning the head back. Take a huge inhale into the chest, the collarbones, the armpits, the shoulder blades, even the neck. And a huge exhale to relax. See if you can do that breath again. Inflating as much as you can, and then softening as much as you can. Take one more breath here, and then gently release. Roll those shoulders. Good. So just coming up off of your pillow, getting rid of your pillow. And we're going to come back into our all fours. So this time, from our all fours, we're going to take our left legs, place the left leg back behind us, and just gently start to turn to face the left side of your mat. So your right foot might just swivel back behind you to get a little bit of balance. And that left foot is now facing out. See if you can roll on that foot to connect down with the outside edge of your foot. So you're really lifting up through the arch. And now your right arm might feel a little bit too far behind you. So if you need to bring it forward, then your hand, your knee and your foot can all be in one line. So we're going to bring your left arm all the way up and over. And we're going to find that diagonal line once more. So reaching up and out with the hand, pressing down with the foot, and trying to get a fairly straight diagonal line all the way down the side of our body. We're going to hold this here as we breathe in and out. Now every exhale, let's go ahead and find a bit of Mula Bandha. So we're going to blow the breath out for a few seconds. Start to lift up through the pelvic floor and draw the lower belly in. So we're really finding that core support. Good. You can also imagine you're wearing a corset, and as you blow out and find your Mula Bandha, it feels like the whole of that corset is gently engaging. Okay, so from here, we're going to make this just a little bit more different. We're going to drop that top arm all the way down and lift the waist up towards the ceiling. So we're coming into a kind of rainbow shape. So now we're stretching out the side of the waist. We're trying to reach the hand down to the floor. Keep squashing your foot into the ground. Good. Now bring the arm up to halfway. So like we did in all fours, we're going to now lift the back leg up. We're going to come into a straight line down the side of our body. See how that feels as you flex your toes back towards your face. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. See if you can hold it for 3. And if not, don't worry, just come out for 2 and for 1. And then bring that leg back down. I'm going to lift that arm up to the sky and then do a little curl under. So dive the hand down and tuck it underneath your armpit behind you. So coming into a little curl. Back up to the sky. Exhale, curl up again. Dive that hand down and under. Inhale, up to the sky. Exhale, bring the hand down. So feeling maybe the side body activating. And this time as we bring the hand up, let the arm rest back. So we start to open up across the chest. You can even bend the elbow if you need to. I'm going to feel this more in the pec and across the shoulder, the front of the shoulder. You're going to breathe here for a couple of seconds. So just breathing in and out. And then when you're ready, curling that arm back under. Good, now just looking down at the floor, I do one more move here. So have your left hand down the side of the body, all ready to help balance you. You can have the fingers near the floor. I'm just going to see if we can lift the right leg off the ground. So you're going to need a little bit of core support and some balance. Just lifting the knee and the foot an inch off the floor. We're going to hold it for 3, for 2, for 1. Bring the leg down, turn back to center. So let's just walk out the hands, a little padding with the arms, and take a little cat-cow when you're here. Just with your own time, with your own breath. Inhaling, opening the chest. Exhaling, arching the back up towards the ceiling. And as you do this movement, just notice the differences from one side of the body to the other. Good, take one more breath here. And then we're going to repeat that little sequence, but on the other side. So I'm just going to turn all the way around. And then we're going to take the right leg back behind us. So first of all, find that nice little calf stretch. And then start to place the foot on the floor. Swing the left leg back behind you. And walk the left hand forward about 6 inches. So now the hand, the knee and the foot's all in one line. We're going to roll the bottom under, bring the right arm up towards the sky, and then reach it over on a diagonal line. So for me, the hand's reaching up towards where the ceiling and the wall would meet, roughly there in your room. And we're pressing into the outside edge of that right foot. So big toes active, little toe, heel, and you're lifting up through the arch. You're going to just breathe in and out here, dropping the shoulders down away from the ears and being careful what you're doing with the head. Don't let it just dangle. Keep the head, the neck, an extension to the spine. Now we're going to drop that right arm down towards the floor and lift the waist up towards the ceiling. So we come into a little rainbow shape from the side. Breathe into that space that you're making. Now it can be handy to press down into the ground. So the knee that you're on, the hand that you're on, can you press down firmly and help lift yourself up lightly through the other bits of the body. So connecting down as you exhale and then inhaling to make some space. Good, now we're going to lift that arm up so it's level, parallel to the ground. And if you're ready, you can lift the back leg up, toes flexing towards your knee. Try and be straight and strong. Engage through your pelvic floor, draw your tummy in and breathe there. So imagine that corset around your waist is gently engaging. Exhale here, a little bit of ha breath. Or you can make the S breath. That can really help you find your core. So making the breath noisy if you need to. Good, now we're going to drop that leg back down. I'm going to bring the arm up to the sky and then go for a little dip unders. So dipping the hand down, curling under, and then inhaling back up. Exhale, blowing out that breath. Keep the pelvic floor on with every exhale. Ha breath or S breath. And then inhale as you reach up. One more here. Just gently finding that core. This time as the arm comes up, take the arm back. Maybe bend the elbow just a little bit. Try and open up across the chest. Breathe into the heart. And again, just be careful what's happening to the head. Don't let it dangle. Be strong through the neck. Take another breath in and out. And then bringing the hand back up to the sky, down to your waist, down to the hip. Or if you need to, have it somewhere near the floor if you're worried about your balance. We're going to go to lift that left knee up off the ground. So a bit of concentration, a bit of control. Keep breathing. We're going to hold it for 3, for 2, for 1. And then legs both back to the floor, hands back to the floor. So bending those elbows, padding the hands like you're a little cat about to pounce. Try and spread your hands as wide as you can. And with the elbows bent, just press into all 10 fingertips as you take your little cat-cow again. Inhaling one way, exhaling the other. See if you can get into every link of the spine. And then on our inhale, let's just pause there for a moment and breathe. Just breathing into the space we're making from the chin all the way down to the pubic bone, all the way across the tummy. Just breathe in and out here. Shoulders down and back, heart forward. Press into the floor with the hands, the knees and the feet. So you can keep it as active, as dynamic as you want, or you can soften it all out a little bit. And then exhale, round your back up to the ceiling, chin in, tailbone under. So here I really love just shifting my weight into the knees and just pausing there. So I'm super light in the hands, hardly any weight in the wrists, and just stay all rounded and curled up as you breathe in and out into the back of the body. Just really getting in between each and every rib, kind of getting in underneath those shoulder blades. Breathing into the back of the waist. Good. One more breath here. And then coming back to center, knees together, knees wide, toes together. Settle down into your peaceful warrior. Arms long, forehead to the floor. So taking a few sighs here as you relax completely. And just take a moment to notice if there's any difference from when we first arrived in our child's pose at the beginning of the class to now we started to work into the sides of the body, the front of the body, the back of the body. Hopefully you can find a bit more length and a bit more flatness through the torso in your child's pose. You found a bit more space. So breathe from the pubic bone up to the heart up to the throat. See if you can find a nice long line of spaciousness along the front of the body. And then exhale out of the forehead, let the head be heavy. And then inhale into the sit bones, the tailbone, up through the back of the waist, the back of the bra strap, the shoulder blades, up to the tops of the shoulders and the neck. And then exhale, soften, let that whole part of the body release. And then breathe into the sides of the body. Can you breathe the ribs out wide? How does it feel to expand sideways with the breath? And then exhale. So we're just noticing all these different places that we have to send the breath. And then the last couple of breaths here, just relax as much as you can. Don't do anything with the breath, just melt into the floor. See if you can look for a moment of give, where tension can just release from the body. Have a sense of melting, letting it all go. Good. So when you're ready, pressing into the hands, big inhale, coming up into your lovely all fours, spreading your fingers as wide as you can, pressing into the palms. We're going to tuck the toes under and just pop ourselves up into downward facing dog. So the first dog of the evening, let's keep it nice and fluid and gentle. So a lovely big bend in the knees, and then drop into one heel and then the other. So bend the knees deeply. As you drop into each heel, start to really open up through the Achilles, up through the calf, and maybe even up into the hamstrings. See if you can tilt your tailbone and lift your pelvis up towards the sky. And then we're dropping the legs all the way down away from that height. Press into the hands. So you get really strong through the arms. And you get that lovely sense of continuation through the torso. As you drop the head and the heart ever so slightly towards the floor. Good. Then we're going to come from here into our plank position. So just bringing the shoulders over the hands, sending the heels out behind you, and again being careful with the head that you don't just let it hang down. Lift the back of the head up. Take a deep breath in here. So squeeze the butt today. I'm going to squeeze the butt. Find the pelvic floor. Exhale, ha breath or S breaths, drawing in the tummy. Holding it for 3. Getting a bit hot, maybe shaking. Holding it for 2. And holding it for 1. Now take your left foot and place it up behind the left hand. So you're in a nice long lunge. We're just going to gently, slowly try to come down onto the left elbow. So just dropping down onto the elbow. And then inhaling, let's lift the left arm up towards the sky and maybe bend the elbow and open the chest once more. And then exhale, slowly drop the elbow to the floor again. So in your own time, with your own breath, just explore this movement in and out 3 or 4 times. So I'm keeping my back knee up off the floor. I'm sinking my pelvis towards the ground as the elbow comes down. And then I'm enjoying that lovely twist and heart opening as the arm comes up. Now bring the hand back down. Come back into your plank, feet wide, and just walk the hands all the way back. We're going to come into a little squat. From your squat, just shuffle your weight from foot to foot. So just seeing how that feels deep in the hips, deep in the pelvis. So we're going to take one knee out quite wide and then the other knee out quite wide. So I'm really looking for spaciousness between my thighs. So go for a bit of maximum width here as you do your little wiggly squat. I'll just show you from the front how this looks. That's it. So really maybe leaning into the hands. If you've got your balance, you can maybe do it with the hands off the floor. Just finding the heels. Good. Keep breathing, keep concentrating. Keep your awareness in your body. What are the sensations you're feeling? And then from the squat, we're going to walk back out into our plank. So press into the heels, Squeeze the butt. We're pressing down into the hands, kind of lifting the heart up away from the floor. Then we're going to take the right leg up. Exhale, drop down onto the right elbow. Inhale, lift it up, open the chest. Maybe take the arm back behind you. Exhale, drop back down again. Inhale up. So again, just doing this 3 or 4 times with your breath, as much or as little as you need. And at any time, you've always got child's pose available to you. So if you need to miss any bits out, just listen to your body. That's absolutely fine. Good. And then coming back into your plank, we're going to drop down onto the knees, and then just very, very easily, we're just going to take the weight of our shoulders as far over the hands as we can. Elbows close into the waist. Inhale here. Exhale, start with your S breath. Engage through your pelvic floor and your core, and then slowly start to drop the heart and the head to the ground. So the last thing to come down is really the hips. And then we find our way lying down onto the floor. So we're going to take a little moment here. So let's just have the arms out by your sides, palms facing up. Turn the head to one side. And then have the toes in and the heels out, so you can relax through the hips and the pelvis. Take a big breath into your belly and feel the lower back rise. As you exhale, feel the lower back fall. Maybe notice your heart beating. Let's see if we can slow down the heart with some nice nostril breathing. Maybe extending the exhalation. So take a moment just to completely relax. One more big sigh here. Soften through the whole body. And then pointing the toes behind you, keep the feet and the legs hip distance apart. I'm just going to place the hands next to the chest, fingertips placed forwards, elbows tucked in close to the side. So the elbows are up like little grasshopper wings. And then we're going to come up into our cobra, but we're going to do it really slowly. So start by pressing the feet down onto the floor. It's probably going to lift your knees up off the ground. That's okay. And then on your next exhale, press the hips down, the pelvis, the pubic bone. And the more you press into the pelvis and the feet, the lighter the head and the shoulders become, and they actually start to lift up off the ground kind of all by themselves. So inhale, lengthen the spine, get a bit of buoyancy. Exhale, press into the pubic bone, into the hips, into the feet. Elbows in, come up a little bit higher. Now we shouldn't really be pressing in the hands, so to make sure we're really working the back of the waist, just lift the hands an inch off the floor. See if you can keep breathing here. Come up one more inch. Inhaling and exhaling. And then lightly just having the hands meet the ground. Try not to take any weight through the arms. Slowly come back down to the ground. We're going to turn the head the other way. Arms by your sides. Toes touch, heels flop out. And take your sighs there. Nice long exhales. Thinking and feeling the word relax. That was really lovely here when we start to work into the back of the body to build strength. And then when you're relaxing, that you really breathe into that lower back. You send all that lovely nutrition from the breath to the part of the body that you've just worked. And then you let go of any effort, any tension, any of the hard work with the exhale. So just soften. Let the body reconfigure where it needs to be. Couple more big sighs here. And then placing your hands, kind of little cactus arms out to the sides, or you can have them behind you like little aeroplane wings. We're going to have the forehead down, toes pointing away from you. Again, the legs are hip distance apart. So again, with the breath, exhale, just press into the hips and the pelvis. Start to lift the legs, the thighs, the arms, the chest, and the head off the floor. So you can have the arms back like aeroplane wings, out to the side, or little cactus arms by your head. Keep breathing here. Feel the back of your waist strengthening. Keep lifting up as high as you can. Breathing in and out for 3, for 2, for 1, and gently come down. Turn the head the other way. Palms face up. Breathe into that lower back. Breathe into the shoulders and let your whole body relax. Big sigh. Good, one more breath here. Really melt into the ground, let it go. And then point the toes, hands back to the chest. Press into the floor and just come all the way back into a peaceful warrior. So knees wide, toes touch, head down, and relax there, breathing into the back of the body. So as you relax here, just start to drop into that way of noticing sensations, noticing heat or tingles or heart beating or the breath. Start to go inward and notice everything you can. What do you feel inside the body? What do you feel around the body? Can you feel the ground underneath you and take that support? Take another couple of breaths here. And then inhaling, gently find your way back up into all fours. Spread the hands wide, little bend in the elbows. Tuck the toes under and come back up into your downward facing dog. This time just really spread the toes and drop into the heels as deeply as you can. Keep turning the sit bones up towards the ceiling as you press into the hands. And a lovely little cue that I love as you drop the heels down. Can you make some space from the tops of your toes, across the tops of your feet, across the front of the ankle, and up through the length of the shins? I love that cue. Just makes me find so much more space in the front of my ankle, and that comes all the way up the front of the legs then into the hips, and then somehow from the hips I can then drop back down into the heels, and it becomes a little bit of a circuit. And then you can find it from the hips down the front of the body to the heels of the hands to the fingers, and then up the back of the body to the hips. So see if you can find that little circuit of focus, of energy, of awareness, of space. And then bending the knees, we're going to walk the hands back in, place the feet on the floor, and just bend the knees and take a little dangle over the legs. So letting the back of the neck release. Resting the tummy on the thighs, go ahead and bend the knees as much as you need to get that contact onto the thighs. And then sigh as if you're breathing out through the crown of the head, just loosening the shoulders and the arms down towards the floor. So it can be useful in a forward bend to find a little bit of Mula Bandha, a little bit of pelvic floor and lower belly gently working just to support the lower back. And then let's really press into the big toes and the little hot toes. And you might find the 3 in the middle almost want to lift up. And then lean into the heels as well. See how that feels. And then just relax here as you lean from the toes into the heels, just forward and back. Gently just exploring a little rocking motion as you exhale and lengthen the spine. Now releasing the hands, we're going to press them onto the shins and lengthen the spine. Lengthen the head away from the tail. So gently just pressing the fingertips on the shins, we can straighten the legs and start to press down into the heels, lift up into the sit bones and just feel that spaciousness all the way down the back of the legs. Good, so breathing in here, breathing out, start to engage your core. And we're going to keep the spine straight here and kind of use our hamstrings to gently hinge us back up to standing. So without rounding the back, keep the legs straight, and you're using the backs of the legs to lift the body all the way up. And then when you get there, let's just bend the knees, roll the shoulders, walk it out, shake it out. Really well done. Okay, so feet are going to be hip distance apart. I'm going to get into some mobility. So starting with the hips, we're going to spiral the hips. And as you do this movement, come back to your breath. Now I'm going to really drop my chest down quite low here as I spiral the hips one way. And if it's not great for your back for any reason, you stay tall and just do little tiny circles with the pelvis. And then once you've done a few one way, let's do them the other way. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good. And then taking the arms up over the head. I haven't got a huge amount of room here, so I'm going to kneel to demo, but you're all going to stay in standing. See if you can bring the hands into prayer position, and then with the arms straight, just take a little side bend. So you're going to feel this strengthening all the way down the side of the body. Be careful as you side bend that you don't collapse and roll into a little forward bend. It's just a side bend. So press into the feet, lift up out of the waist. See if you can use that grip on the hand to bring the arm over another millimetre and then back to centre. Let's cross the thumbs the opposite way. Arms are nice and strong and straight, pressing towards the head. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, come over. Breathe in and out through this side. Press down into the feet to lift up out of the waist. And come back to centre. Well done. Bring the arms down, couple of little shoulder circles. And then we're going to move into some balancing. So just taking the weight into your left foot. I'm actually going to just try and mirror that here because we're opposite each other. And then picking up your right leg, we're just going to keep the hips level. Good. So it might be that the hands need to stay on the hips. It might be that you can just go for the grip around the knee. You're going to flex the toes here. Good. So just staying as balanced as you can. If the other leg starts to wobble, just bend the knee ever so slightly and try to stabilize your ankle. Maybe trusting the outside edge of the foot more than the inner edge. Good. Now just going to keep working here. So have a sense of all the work coming back, maybe into the thigh, into the glute, into the hip flexor, just holding the leg here, dropping the shoulders, and then coming back into your breath as you blow out that breath, lifting up through the pelvic floor, drawing that lower belly in. See if we can hold this for another 3, another 2, another 1, and gently release. I'm just going to walk that out. And then placing your weight into your right foot, spread the toes, plant the heel, little bend in the knee. Keep the hips level as you lift the left leg up. Go for the little grip around the knee if you've got your balance, and flex the toes towards your face. So shoulders down and back. Look at one point and don't even blink. Now find your core as you blow out every exhale. Just feeling that pelvic floor come up, the lower belly scoop in and up, and maybe that corset of tummy muscles all around the waist gently engage. So the standing leg may well be shaking. Have a little bend in the knee. This is going to be great for strengthening the calf and the thigh. And then just try to not hold so much with the arms. Try and let the leg hold itself up with the hip flexor, with the glutes. So let the leg do more work. So you could easily let go with the hands. Another 2 and another 1. Good. And then walk it out. So you should have felt that maybe down through the front of the legs, through the hips, into the glutes, into the calves. Good. So second set. I'm going to pick up, can't remember which leg I've done now. Yeah, so picking up your right leg, I think it is. So just swap it round. This time for the second set, what we're going to do is we're going to hold on to that knee with the opposite hand. And we're going to gently try to pull the knee across to the center line. And then take the other arm out behind you and look behind you as much as you can. So you're getting a really lovely twist through the spine. And we really have to balance here. So look at one point and breathe as you relax the shoulders. Maybe you can see your thumb. Inhale and exhale as you flex your toes. That's it. Wake up through the core. Maybe as you exhale. So finding that stability, squeezing the thighs together for 3, for 2, for 1. And don't worry if you fell out. It's all about building up stamina, building up balance. So we'll change that round to the other side. So already just setting it up, spreading the toes, planting the heel, bending the knee, lifting up that leg and taking the opposite hand to the outside of the knee. So I'm already trying to draw that knee back over towards that center line, dropping into the hips. Slowly start to turn and look out behind you, reaching out with the fingers. Now flex the toes of the leg that you're holding. Spread them wide. Same with the hands. Wake up the hands. Inhale, exhale, ha, or s. Find a little bit of pelvic floor and core. So we're just going to concentrate on one spot. Breathing in and out here. Great way to empty the mind, the chitter chatter of the mind. Holding it for 3 and 2 and 1. Well done. And then come back to center. We're going to walk that out. Okay, so let's come back down onto the floor. And then imagine you've got a big weight on the top of the head. So it just starts to come down towards the floor and it rolls you up vertebrae by vertebrae. So bend the knees when you need to. Pause when you need to inhale. Exhale, find your pelvic floor. Come down a little bit lower. And then we're going to walk out onto the mat. So we're going to take a little stretch now through for those hip flexors. So just take your right foot forward and wiggle it forward a little bit, and then take the right knee out over towards the little toe and drop the pelvis down. So the left leg, the back leg that's on the floor, you're getting a nice stretch through that hip flexor. And we can lean on that right knee. We're going to lift the left arm up. We're actually going to drop the pelvis a bit more and come over into a little side bend. That's just going to make it a little bit more intense. So breathing in and out, just opening up that back thigh, spreading your toes. And if you need a bit of pelvic floor lift, just give it a little squeeze, draw the tummy in, and you can work that bit as well. Dropping down a little millimetre more. Staying here for a few more breaths. And then gently coming back out. Let's change that over to the other side. So it's a nice long lunge that whatever you can manage. Just being careful of that back knee. So rolling the kneecap towards the toes, shifting your leg forward and the kneecap back, and then leaning on that front leg. Inhale, lift the right arm up and come into the side bend. So you're going to make all that space again down the side of the body. Really firm in the feet. Inhale to lift up and reach out with the fingertips. Exhale to sink the pelvis down and come a little bit more into that side bend. Breathe there. Keep breathing. See if you can relax into it for the last moment. What can you let go of? And then gently come back out. Good. So we'll just come back down onto our bottoms. Just bringing the feet close in into a little butterfly position, holding around the toes as you sit up nice and tall. I'm just going to do a few little circles here, just to get into the inner thighs. So just 3 or 4 in one direction, and then 3 or 4 in the opposite direction. Just trying to let those thighs soften, trying to let those knees draw down to the ground. Once you've done that, you might be able to bring your feet in a bit closer, and then just take one ear to one shoulder and just stretch out the side of the neck. Really plays a big part where you kind of place your chin. So just dropping the chin down or lifting the chin up, just to find that real sweet spot for the stretch. Just wherever it feels just right. And then take the head the other way. Relaxing those shoulders, relaxing the thighs. Think about sitting up just a little bit taller, heart forward, shoulders down and back. And then finding the sweet spot. Where does your chin need to be? Good. Okay. And then turning around onto our backs. Just spending a little moment coming down onto our backs, maybe doing a few little roll-ups. Just easing yourselves down so you feel nice and level through the pelvis, feet hip distance apart. If you've got a pillow handy, it can be really good to actually have a pillow under your head and shoulders, just to help you lift up a little bit the top end of the body. And then we're going to just do a few toe taps and pelvic floor exercises just before we wrap up. So we're going to inhale into a soft tummy. Exhale, the hands are on the tummy. We're going to feel the belly drop down to the mat as we breathe out. And then we're going to lift the knee and the foot up off the ground. We're going to inhale here. And then exhale, just take the leg and tap the toe a little bit away from you. And then inhale, bring the knee in. Exhale, tap. So we want to feel a little bit of work underneath the hands, a little bit of core response, but we definitely want to be moving with the pelvic floor gently engaged. So if you feel like you haven't quite got it, come back to just having the leg raised. Inhale into a soft belly. Exhale, start to blow the breath out. Engage the pelvic floor. Squeeze the tummy down towards the spine, just ever so slightly. And once you've got that core support on, we're moving the leg in and out. So just one more on that side, and then bring the leg down. Take a big soft breath into the belly to reset. Exhale, let it all go. Inhale again. Exhale, start to blow the breath out. And this is where the sound breath can be really helpful. So if you haven't already tried the ha breath or the s breath, pick one of those now. Inhale, let's just lift the leg up. Exhale, toe tap. Inhale back in. Exhale, toe tap. So moving really slowly with control. Making sure as you look down the body that you can't see any kind of doming, that you're really finding that pelvic floor and that lower belly gently engaging, about 3 out of 10 in strength. And just working with your breath, working to kind of lever the weight of the leg to work your core. We're just going to do one more here. And gently release. And then to finish, let's just bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees flop out. Have your hands on the belly as you roll the shoulders down and in, and start to close your eyes. Just take a moment to relax on your back. Just relaxing through the hips, through the thighs, and just allowing the belly to rise and fall with the breath. Now, if anyone's not super comfortable on their backs in Shavasana, Now would be a good time to kind of curl up onto your side, take a different position, just be really supported under your head, between the knees if you're going on the side. And if you do like Shavasana on your back, you can just bring the legs back together and lengthen the feet out onto the floor. Let the feet flop out so the hips feel open. And then you can have the palms facing up next to your sides. Try and get the shoulders to roll down and under so you feel really clear underneath the shoulder blades. Now, if you need any blankets, you want to put on any socks, or even put a pillow rolled up underneath your knees, now's a good time just to spend a minute getting really comfortable for your relaxation. So once you're settled, you will move into the Yoga Nidra part of the practice. Nidra means sleep, and it facilitates a really deep relaxation. So as you begin to arrive into Shavasana, just scan through the body and become aware of any sensations you can feel. We've moved the body, we've squeezed it, we've stretched it, we've twisted it, we've balanced it, we've done a lot. So can you just observe any kind of sensations in or around your body in this moment as a result of all of that practice? Just observe without any judgment. Just notice any heat or areas of cool, any tingles, heartbeats, breath moving in and out, sensation of the breath at the tip of the nose, cool on the in-breath, warm on the out-breath. Just freely notice what you notice. And then can you notice all the different body parts that your body is making contact with on the ground? Maybe the head. Can you feel where the head's touching the floor or your pillow? And can you find another 10% ease in resting your head? What needs to give? What needs to let go to find that? And then moving down through the torso, feeling all the heavy bits that are touching the floor. Maybe under the shoulders or the elbows or the edge of the hands. Maybe the lower back. Just rest a bit heavy into all those parts. And then it might be the calves and the heels. As you take your next exhalation, make it as long as you can. And let your whole body sink into the imprint you're making down onto the mat. Now relaxing the skin that goes across your forehead, the muscles around the eyes, the jaw. Relax the front of the throat, the back of the neck, collarbones, the shoulder blades, the rib cage. Feel inside the shoulder, down the arm to the elbow, down a bit more to the wrists, the back of the hand, the fingertips, the depth in the center of the palms. Feel the belly rising and falling with the breath. The space between the hips. The heaviness of the thigh bones. Kneecaps. Soft space behind the knees. Length of shins. Calves. Ankles. Top of the feet. Soles of the feet. Big toes. Second toe. Third toe. Fourth toe. Little toes. Notice the sensation of skin across your forehead. Feel your whole body resting completely. Feel your whole body resting completely. Just relaxing here for another minute or so until I bring you back round. Just staying in that observant place somewhere between wake and sleep. Noticing sensation in and around your body. Allow yourselves to rest completely. And then as we gently start to come out of our Shavasana, just begin by noticing the sounds around you. The sounds in the room that you're in, the sound of your breath, the sounds of the rest of the building that you're in. Even noticing the sounds from outside. Letting all of those noises just wash over you. Feeling the touch of the floor underneath you. Take a deep breath in and start to gently move the fingers and the toes. Gently waking up the hands and the feet. And if you're on your back, now's a good time to roll onto your side so that you can come out of Shavasana really gently, almost without disturbing yourself too much. Just resting on your side for a moment as you focus on those invigorating inhales, stimulating, just to wake us up. And then when you're ready to move in your own time, just pressing into the hands, gently finding your way back up to seated, maybe giving your shoulders a little shoulder roll, checking in to see how you feel. And then bringing the hands into prayer. We're going to finish with an Om this evening. So it's an Ah, Ah, sound. We're going to take a deep breath in to begin. Peace to all, love to all, light to all. Namaste, everybody. So thank you so much for joining me for your practice. It's been a real pleasure to take you through that this evening, and I hope you feel good for it and revived and energized. So I'm just going to unmute you all.